Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to talk about AWS XRAY. So now we have already seen the theoretical explanation for the X-ray stuff. So just to give you a quick view, X-ray scans the internal workings of your application, your request flow, your end-to-end debuggings, improvisation, optimization, performance insights, and everything else you can actually see as part of the AWS Insight. So I've created I'm sorry, not AWS Insight. I'm really sorry. It's AWS XRAY. So if you search for XRAY, so it's a feature which is a separate service which is part of another service over here, which is CloudWatch. So previously XRAY used to be a separate service, but then it became part of CloudWatch. I can see that traces over here. Now, by default, you won't have any application for you to trace. So what you can do is like there'll be option over here called create application, create a sample application, something like this. Okay, so if you go to trace map, you will see set up a demo application. It's not charged much, it's just $1 per day, complete day. I've been running it just $1. It get charged, so you can just turn it on and then have this application, turn it off. Now you can see that the rate of what it is tracking over here. As this is a simple application we are tracking, so we have the client, and then the scorekeeper is basically your ECS container. ECS is your cloud service, Elastic Cloud Service, and you can see that there is 100% error rate because the client cannot access the application because it's a demo application. So you can also see the traffic over here. When you click on the arrow over here, you can actually see the response time distribution filter. So here you can also click on view trace and you can run a query. So this tells you about like what is the speed of the node, and HTTP methods is also there as part of the trace. So likewise, you can actually look at the performance of your application. You can look at the request, number of requests coming in, the falls, the seconds it is handling, the latency. So likewise, you can see a complete trace of your application. So if you have a application, you can actually use it via trace, and you can actually trace the application, how fast the application is, how frequent it is getting updated. Likewise, you can see all those things. You can also click on view dashboard over here. So this gives you complete information on the scorekeeper application, which is part of the trace, which gives you the latency reports, the errors, the throttles. So all the information, it actually comes through. So you can also check for a period of 6 hours. I can see that there's been few spikes over here. As this is not a live application or something like that, you're not seeing much detail. But then this is the trace. It's not mandatory or it's really required for you to know how to configure trace as part of the certification. The certification only gives you an idea what is trace, and some of the features is what you need to remember, and what the function of it is very important, because questions would come like, oh, a customer or a client is looking for a way to fine tune or figure out the performance of the application with its architecture. Which service would be appropriate to choose? So they will ask you like so many services which is so closely related, like CloudTrail, CloudWatch, or X-Ray. So you need to understand and what they're asking. They're looking for performance inside, and they're looking for the architecture and the flow of the application. So X-Ray is the right one. So likewise, they will have this complicated services attached to your existing question, and they would be asking you in a tricky way. So you should understand, read the question twice and thrice, and then only reply to that question. Thank you again for your time and patience. I hope it was helpful for you to understand how to configure X-Ray. So we will talk in detail how to do that later point of time in a different training, but that requires a lot of AWS knowledge. We will come back to that. I will give you all the knowledge I have. Thank you again. I'll see you on the next one.